The bar was too bright and too loud for the way my chest felt, but I still walked in. Mira had messaged me earlier, "Come out tonight. It's my last night of freedom." I stared at those words for a long time before answering. I didn't answer, actually. I just showed up. She was near the bar, laughing like she didn't know what heartbreak was. Her hair curled over her shoulders, her dress sparkling like she was made for attention. And beside her was Damon, once my closest friend. Now the reason my stomach felt tight, he saw me first. "Adrian!" Finally. His grin was wide, easy, fake. I nodded. Mira stepped closer. "Hey," she said, just that. And somehow it was enough to drag up every memory we ever had. "You look happy," I said. "I'm trying," she replied. Her eyes flickered away. "Let's not make tonight heavy. Just be here with me. Like old times, old times." The words tasted bitter. Damon slid his arm around her waist like it was natural, like it had always been that way. "Drinks?" he asked. I shook my head. I watched them move together through the room. Too close. Too familiar. I tried to breathe normal. Tried to ignore the small cracks forming inside me. After a while, Mira came back to me. "Walk with me," she said. So I did. Outside, the air was cooler. She wrapped her arms around herself. "I didn't invite you to hurt you," she said quietly. "Then why am I here?" I asked. She hesitated. "Because I miss what we had. I miss how you looked at me, how you loved me." My heart reacted before I could stop it. "If you missed me, you wouldn't have left." She swallowed hard. "I thought I needed something different. Something exciting. I didn't want to feel tied down." I nodded slowly. "So you chose him?" "I didn't choose him," she said. But her voice was weak. "It just happened. Things don't just happen. People make choices." She wiped her eyes. "I shouldn't have messaged you. I just didn't want to let the memory of us die without seeing you again." "Are you happy?" I asked. She didn't answer. Silence said enough. We walked back inside. Damon was waiting. Of course he was. He reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. He looked at me like he already won. "You good, man?" I forced my voice steady. "Yeah, I'm good." Mira looked at me one last time. Her eyes were full of something I couldn't read. Regret, maybe, or fear, but she didn't speak. She let him lead her away. The music thumped. People laughed. Glasses clinked. It all felt distant, like I was somewhere else entirely. Like I was standing behind a window, watching my own life from the outside. Something inside me didn't shatter. It didn't scream. It only let go. Quietly, I walked out of the bar alone. The night air touched my face. I didn't cry. I didn't call after her. I didn't break. I stopped believing that love meant anything at all. I remember thinking that maybe this was how endings really happened, not with storms or grand collapse, just with a fading of warmth until there was nothing left to hold. I stood there on the sidewalk, hands in my pockets, watching my breath rise in the dark. I knew something in me was gone, and it was never coming back. I woke up to my phone vibrating nonstop. Messages, calls, notifications. My head felt heavy, but I opened them anyway. "Bro, you okay? You knew about Damon and Mira, right? I thought you were cool with it." Each message hit like a fist. I sat up straight. I typed one question to someone from our old group. "What are you talking about?" The reply came fast. "They've been together for months. Everyone figured you knew." I read it again. My chest tightened. I remembered Mira saying, "It just happened." I remembered Damon's arm around her waist like it belonged there. My phone buzzed again. "Mira, this time, can we talk?" I stared at her words. My thumbs didn't move. Elias knocked on my door. "You're alive in there?" He walked in without waiting. His eyes landed on my face. "What happened?" I handed him my phone. He read and sighed. "Adrian," I didn't speak. He sat on the edge of the bed. "Listen, don't let this break you." "I'm not broken," I said. "You look like someone just ripped out your ribs," he said. I leaned forward. It wasn't just the breakup. It's the fact that I was the last one to know. Like I was a joke to everyone. Like I was stupid. "You're not stupid," he said. I laughed once. "Then why does it feel like everyone saw something I didn't?" He didn't answer. My phone lit up again. "Mira, please." I didn't mean for it to go this way. Elias looked at the screen. "Block her." "I can't," I said. "Then you're letting her control the ending." I lowered the phone. "She said she missed how I loved her." "That's manipulation," he said. She wants comfort, not responsibility. Hours passed. I didn't move much. Just replayed memories like punishment, her laughing, her holding my hand, her telling me I made her feel safe. All while she was already slipping away into someone else's arms. My phone buzzed again. "Mira, I know you're hurting." "I'm sorry," I typed back. "When did it start?" She replied, "I don't know. It wasn't planned. Please don't hate me." I locked the phone. Elias came back later with food. "Eat," he said. I didn't, he sighed. "You have to stand up at some point." "I just need time," I said. "Time won't fix it if you keep reopening the wound." The evening turned into night. The world felt muted. Mira texted again. "I never wanted to lose you," I whispered. "You already did. I didn't send it." The next morning, I tried to go to work. I sat at my desk, opened my laptop, and stared at the screen. Lena from accounting stopped by. "You okay?" she asked. "I'm fine," I said. She didn't believe me, but she didn't push. When she left, I closed my laptop and rested my head in my hands. My phone buzzed again. I didn't look. I already knew who it was, and I already knew I wouldn't answer. Not anymore. Elias stood at my doorway again that night. "You should go out," he said. "Get air, see people." "I don't want people," I said. He leaned against the frame. "You're allowed to be hurt. Just don't build a house inside the pain." I looked at him. "It's embarrassing." "What is?" "That everyone else knew. That I was loving someone who had already replaced me." He walked in and sat down. "Love doesn't make you foolish. It makes you honest. They're the ones who should be ashamed." I shook my head. "Why does it still feel like I lost?" "Because you cared," he said. "And caring always costs something." His words sat heavy, but they didn't fix anything. They just made the silence feel human instead of empty. Before he left, he said, "When you're ready to talk, I'm here." I nodded, but I didn't move. At work, people whispered when I walked past like I couldn't hear them. "He's not over her. He's obsessed." Pathetic. Damon made sure of that. He didn't need evidence. He just needed to talk. One afternoon, Elias pulled me aside. He hesitated before speaking. "Look, people are saying things. Management is concerned." I stared at him. "Concerned about what?" "That you're unstable. That you're making scenes. That you're stalking her." I laughed, short, sharp, not amused. "I haven't spoken to her in months." "I know," he said. "But rumors don't need proof. They just need volume." I looked out the window, jaw locked. I didn't say anything. Elias lowered his voice. "They're considering replacing you on the project." My stomach twisted, but my face didn't move. "I've done nothing wrong. I believe you," Elias said. "But do they?" I didn't answer. I just walked away. That night, I sat on the bathroom floor with the lights off, hands gripping my hair. My breathing was shallow. I felt like the walls were closing in, but no sound came out. No crying, nothing, just silence. The next day, I went to work expressionless. Not calm, empty. Damon passed me in the hallway, smirking. "Rough week, huh?" I didn't react. I didn't look at him. I just kept walking. He laughed behind me. The sound stuck to my skin like oil. During lunch, Nora sat across from me. She looked hesitant. "Can I ask something?" I nodded. "Did you really chase her after the breakup?" I held her gaze. "No," she exhaled. "Then why aren't you saying anything to defend yourself?" "Because they already decided what they want to believe." She frowned. "That's not fair." "Life's rarely fair," I said. "But I'm not going to kneel to clear my name." She looked at me differently after that. Not pity, understanding. I made it through the day, but my chest felt heavy, tight, burning. When I got home, I stood in front of the mirror. My reflection stared back. Tired eyes, unshaven jaw, posture slumped like I'd been carrying something too heavy for too long. I whispered, "Who are you now?" No answer, just a stranger looking back at me. My voice broke, and not loud but sharp. This can't be it. This can't be who I end up as. Two choices formed clearly: break or become unbreakable. My fingers gripped the counter until my knuckles whitened. "I won't let them destroy me," I said. My voice steadied. "I won't let her be the story they tell about me." I stood up straighter. breathing slow, controlled. This wouldn't be a sudden transformation. It would be slow, painful, deliberate, but it would happen. I would make sure of it. The next morning at work, the whispers were quieter, but not gone. I kept my head up. When Damon passed me, he smirked again. I didn't look away this time. "Enjoy it while you can," I said quietly. He blinked, surprised. He didn't respond. That was enough. Silence. I woke up before dawn, not because of nightmares, but because my mind was strangely quiet. I sat on the edge of my bed and just breathed. No heaviness, no storm, just silence. At work, I didn't talk much. I focused. Task after task. I started staying late, not to escape, but to build. Every spreadsheet, every report, every quiet hour felt like a brick. A foundation, people noticed, especially Lena. One evening, she approached my desk. "You're different," she said. I shrugged. "Trying to be." "Trying?" She raised an eyebrow. "Okay," I admitted. "Becoming." She watched me for a moment. "Is it helping?" I didn't answer right away. I looked at the screen, then back at her. "Yeah, it is." She sat on the edge of my desk. "You don't talk much anymore." I used to talk too much. "No," she said gently. "You used to talk to be heard. Now you talk to be understood." I blinked, surprised by how accurate that felt. "Maybe. Want to get dinner?" she asked. I hesitated. Not because I didn't want to, but because I was scared of becoming dependent again. She noticed. "It's not a date," she said with a small smile. "Just two humans eating carbohydrates." I laughed. "Okay, dinner." We talked the whole time. About small things, music, films, stupid jokes. It felt easy. No weights, no expectations. At one point she asked, "Do you still think about her?" I didn't flinch. That itself felt like progress. "Not the way I used to," I said. "It's not longing anymore, memory," she nodded. "Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means it stops controlling you." "That's what I'm trying to do," I said. "Live without needing answers." She smiled like I'd said something right. "You're doing it." Weeks passed. I kept working. I kept breathing. I kept talking to Lena, not everything, not the deepest parts, but enough to feel human again. Then one afternoon, my phone buzzed. Mira. Her name looked familiar and foreign at the same time. Like a language I used to speak, I stared at it before answering. "Can we meet?" she asked. Her voice sounded smaller. Or maybe I'd grown. "When?" I said. "Tomorrow. If you're okay with that." I didn't look for meaning. I didn't look for pain. I just listened to my pulse, calm. "Okay." There was a long silence. "Thank you," she whispered. I ended the call. Lena was across the room. She saw my face. "Everything all right?" "Mira wants to meet," I said. Her expression didn't change. Just softened. "How do you feel?" I checked. "Truly checked. Steady." She nodded once. "Then go steady." Not hopeful. Not angry, steady, I smiled. "Yeah, I think I can do that." Elias came home while I was still holding the phone. He dropped his keys and looked at me. "You look like you saw a ghost. Mira wants to meet." He didn't sit. He folded his arms. "Are you going?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because I want to see what I feel." "Or don't feel." He studied my face. "You sure you're strong enough for that?" I nodded. "I don't need anything from her anymore," he exhaled. "Then make sure she doesn't take anything from you either." I put my phone down. "I'm not the same person anymore." He smiled a little. "No, you're not. I set the meeting for tomorrow evening. Not at our old places. Not anywhere with memories. A neutral spot. A clean slate. For the first time in a long time, I felt steady. I kept going. I met Mira at the small cafe near the river, the one where we once laughed like we had forever. I sat first. She arrived late, as always. I didn't stand. I didn't smile. "Hey," she said, voice soft. "Hey," I replied. She sat across from me, fingers trembling against the table. "Thank you for agreeing to meet." I didn't agree. "You insisted," I said. A faint, humorless laugh. "Yeah, I did," silence stretched. I let it. She finally spoke. "I don't know where to start." "Start anywhere," I said. "But speak plainly." Her eyes lifted to mine. "I regret it." I didn't react. Not even a blink. She swallowed. "I regret choosing him. I regret everything after." I didn't see who he really was. I leaned back. You didn't see who I was either. Her breath caught. I know, and I'm sorry. I didn't rush to fill the quiet. The world moved around us, cups clinking, faint music, passing footsteps. None of it touched us, she said. Damon changed. After he thought he won, he stopped pretending. He stopped caring. Her voice cracked. I thought he loved me. And now, he treats me like an object he acquired. Something on a shelf. Her hands shook. He tells me I was just a competition. I nodded slowly. I know, she blinked. You knew? People talk, I said. But it didn't matter anymore. She stared at me as if seeing something new. You really don't feel anything, do you? I feel, I said. Just not for you. Her lip quivered. I came here because I thought maybe we could start again. Maybe we could talk, rebuild, try to fix what we had. What did we have? I asked quietly. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Tears welled. You were my safe place, she whispered. No, I said gently. I was your mirror. You liked the version of yourself you saw in my eyes. When Damon offered a different reflection, you chased it. A tear fell down her cheek. I didn't know. I was stupid. You were human, I said. She looked desperate. So there's no chance? No, she inhaled sharply as if the word cut her. She wiped her face quickly. I thought if I just explained… You did, I said. And it doesn't change anything? It changes how I understand the past, not how I feel now. She leaned forward, voice pleading. I still love you, I shook my head. You love the memory of being loved. She stared at me as if I had taken something from her. Something she had never noticed until now. I stood. She whispered, Please don't go. I'm not leaving you, I said. I'm leaving who I used to be. Her tears fell freely now. So that's it? That's it. She looked down, broken in a way she had tried to hide. You're not the same. I had to become someone who could survive losing myself. She looked up. And now you don't need me. I don't need answers from you anymore. That's the difference. For a moment, neither of us moved. The world outside the window kept going. Cars, people, light, sound. Life, she whispered. I'm sorry. I know, I said. And I walked away. As I walked, I realized something. I didn't win, and she didn't lose. The story just ended. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't longing. I wasn't waiting to be understood. I had outgrown the places my pain once lived. And that was enough. I heard about it 3 days after it happened. I was at work, sorting through project files, headphones in, mind calm when my phone buzzed. Kieran's name flashed. I answered. What's up? I said, his voice was urgent. You haven't heard, have you? Heard what? It finally happened, he said. Damon cheated on her. I didn't respond. I just let silence sit, Kieran exhaled. It's everywhere, screenshots, messages, some girl from his gym. I leaned back in my chair. And Mira? She's losing it, he said. Crying, calling everyone, saying she was tricked, betrayed. She's posting these long paragraphs online. I closed my eyes. And Damon? He's denying everything, Kieran said. Telling people she's too emotional and misunderstood. He's acting like the victim. He's good at that. I nodded even though he couldn't see it. Of course he is. You sound calm, he said. What reaction were you expecting? I asked, I don't know. Anger? Satisfaction? No, I said. That's not who I am anymore. Kieran was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke slowly. He always envied you, I frowned. What are you talking about? He told me once, Kieran said. Not directly. But you could hear it. You had something he couldn't shape or fake. You had loyalty. You could stay. He never could. He wanted whatever he couldn't be. I let the words settle. They didn't sting. They didn't warm me. They just existed. What do you want me to do with that? I asked. Nothing, Kieran said. I just thought you should know the truth. Real truth. Not rumors. Not noise, I sighed. People destroy themselves. We just watch. Yeah, he whispered. Yeah, we do. We hung up. Later that evening, I walked to the small cafe near my apartment. I ordered tea. I sat by the window. I listened to the rain. I felt still. My phone buzzed again. This time, Mira. I stared at the screen but didn't answer. Another message. Can we talk? Please, the old me would have gone. The old me would have tried to fix her world like it was my job to carry it. I just put the phone face down. Hours passed. Outside, the rain softened. Inside, my tea cooled. The cafe door opened. Kieran walked in and spotted me. He sat without asking. "You didn't answer her," he said. "No," I replied. "Good," he said. "She's trying to rewrite the story, making it sound like she was manipulated from the beginning, like she had no choice." "That's how guilt works," I said. "It looks for somewhere else to land." Kieran tapped his fingers on the table. "She's saying Damon ruined her life?" "He didn't," I said quietly. "She walked into the fire with him." Kieran let out a breath. "You don't hate her?" "No," I said. "I don't. What do you feel?" I looked out the window. The streetlights blurred in the wet pavement. "Distance! That's all," he nodded. "You really changed." I had to. We sat in silence for a while. The world moved. People laughed. Cups clinked. Someone played soft music in the back. Kieran finally said, "So what now?" I shrugged. "I live my life. They live theirs. Or what's left of it," he laughed softly. "You know, people talk about karma like it's this big dramatic thing. Lightning from the sky. Public humiliation. Grand collapse." I looked at him. Kieran's voice lowered. "But it's not like that, is it?" "No," I said. "Karma is slow. It's quiet. It arrives when no one is looking. It doesn't shout. It simply balances the scales." He nodded, and I sipped my tea, warm again somehow. I didn't feel triumph. I just felt free. I stood outside the cafe, hands in my pockets, breathing slow. I knew why she asked to meet. The message was short, please. Just once, I didn't answer. But I still came. Not for her. For myself. She sat inside by the window. Mira. Her shoulders were small now, almost folded in. When she saw me, her eyes filled like she'd been holding tears for hours. She whispered, "Thank you for coming." I pulled out the chair. "Talk," she flinched. "I deserve that." She looked at her hands. "I'm not here to beg you to take me back." "You already tried that," I said. Her lips trembled. "I know." Silence sat between us. Coffee cups clinked around us. Quiet laughter from other tables felt like it belonged to a world I wasn't in anymore. She exhaled slowly. "Damon, he cheated. Everyone knows. He said I was boring. That once he had me, the chase was gone. I was just something he took." I nodded. No shock. "I heard." She looked at me with a pain I didn't recognize anymore. I didn't understand what I threw away. I thought what we had was safe. Too safe, too quiet. I thought I needed excitement, fire, passion, and I ran to it. I waited. I let her speak. I told myself you'd move on, that you didn't really love me, that you'd be fine. Her voice thinned. I lied to myself every day. I leaned back. "Why are you telling me this now?" She wiped her cheek. "Because I need you to hate me. I need you to yell, to blame me, to tell me I ruined everything. I need you to be the villain so I can live with myself." I almost laughed. "I don't hate you, Mira." Her eyes widened like I stabbed her. "Then what am I supposed to do with all of this guilt?" "That's yours," I said quietly. "Not mine." She covered her face. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was selfish. I was stupid. I hurt you because I thought I could. Because I thought you'd stay no matter what." "I did," I said. "Until I didn't." She cried harder, shoulders shaking. "I want to fix it. I want to fix us, please. Tell me you still feel something." I looked at her. Really looked. The girl I once loved was still there somewhere. But she wasn't mine anymore. "Maybe she never was, I feel," I said softly. "But not for you. Not the way I used to." Her voice broke. "Then what do you feel?" "Peace." She stared like the word was foreign. I stood. She reached out, grabbing my sleeve. "Please, can we at least try to be what we were?" I shook my head gently. "We can't go back. You were my lesson, Mira, not my ending. I didn't turn back. Someone I once loved." As I walked, I realized something else. Healing didn't come like thunder or applause. It came quietly, like waking up after a long night and noticing the room is no longer dark. I wasn't proud. I wasn't triumphant. I was simply done carrying what was never mine to hold. That was enough. That was freedom. The kind that didn't need permission or witness. The kind that stayed. The door chimed as I left. The air outside felt lighter. Not sweet, not victorious, Just clear. I didn't win, she didn't lose, we just ended, and I walked forward. I sat across from Dr. Vale, my hands resting on my knees. The room was quiet, soft light filling the space. She looked at me, waiting, not pushing. So, she said gently, "You saw her." "Yeah," I said. "I did." "How did it feel?" I let out a slow breath. Like I was listening to a story I used to believe. "But I don't anymore." Dr. Vale nodded. "You didn't feel anger?" "No, and that surprised me." I looked at the floor. I thought I'd want to scream or break something, but I just felt done. "That's healing," she said. I laughed quietly. "Feels strange." Most endings do. I leaned back. I don't know who I am without the pain. For so long, everything I did came from trying to prove something. Prove I was enough. Prove I mattered. I rubbed my hands together. Now it's just quiet. What does the quiet tell you? That I get to choose, I said. Not react, not chase. Just choose, she smiled. Then who do you choose to become? I didn't answer right away. The silence wasn't heavy. It was open. After the session, I stepped outside. Lena was waiting across the street, leaning on her car, arms folded, hair pulled back. She saw me and waved. "Hey," she called as I walked over. "How'd it go?" "Good," I said. "Strange, but good," she tilted her head. "Strange how?" "I didn't feel like I was running anymore," I said. She smiled a little. "That sounds like progress." We got in her car. The radio played something soft. We didn't talk for a while. It was comfortable. After a few minutes, she spoke. "You know, you don't have to rush anything. Not with me. Not with your life. Not with healing. I know," I said. "I'm not trying to fill a space." "Good," she said softly. "Just live. I like the version of you that breathes." I looked out the window. "I like him too." We went to the overlook near the river. The water moved slow, catching the sunset. We sat on the rail. She asked, "Do you ever think about the night everything changed?" "All the time," I said. "But not the way I used to." "What do you mean?" "Mira called it her last night of freedom," I said. Like she was celebrating escaping something. I shook my head. But it was mine too. I just didn't know it. That was the night I finally let the version of myself who begged for love die. Lena looked at me, not with pity, but with understanding. "Who are you now?" I shrugged softly. "Someone who doesn't need to be chosen to feel worth something." "That's beautiful," she said. "It's new," I replied. "I'm still learning." We sat in silence again. The sky burned gold, then red. "I'm not afraid anymore," I said quietly. "Of being alone?" "No, of being myself." Lena's voice was warm. "That's the beginning, you know." "Not the ending," I nodded. "Yeah, I think it is." We walked back to the car slowly. No rush, no weight pulling at my chest. There was grief, sure, but it was soft. Not sharp anymore. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need closure from her. I already found both inside myself. On the drive back, Lena asked, "If she returned changed, truly sorry, would you go back?" I thought about it, then answered, "No, because I'm not who I was." She smiled softly. That was enough. When I got home, I stood in front of the mirror. I didn't search for pain or proof of strength. I just saw myself, present, breathing, here, and quietly I said, "I'm enough." The words didn't feel forced. They felt real, like something finally settled where hurt used to be. At last, today,